Well, it was interesting, I was having dinner with a friend last night and she said that she used to bake herself with oil on the beach, and she used to wipe the sand off her toes to make sure that her feet were tanned as well.
Dear. Yeah.
So that's exactly what you're talking about.
Right, exactly. I think we need to have a look at her as well.
Sunbake in the morning, smother the tropical oil all over ourselves, then go back to our place for lunch, have a dip in the pool, wash the salt off, and then go back in the afternoon and do it all over again. Yeah, so we like to fry.
I'm just going to be talking to you a little bit about your skin and your skin history.
Yep, great.
And very fitting, being that you are here by the beach, living in this beautiful home with a very ocean feel to it. So obviously you love the ocean.
Love the beach.
Yeah.
Love it.
I don't blame you. We're very much an outdoor sort of community here in Perth and in Australia. We all live around the coastline, really. About 80% of our population does. So you can imagine we get a lot of exposure to daylight and a lot of exposure to sun. So Kath, tell me a little bit about your history. Have you had a lot of sun exposure growing up?
Yeah, a lot. I grew up on a farm, and then I grew up across the road from the beach down south. So spent my days in the sun, putting on tropical oil and trying to get the best tan. Even scraping the sand off my toes to put tropical oil there, because you couldn't have white feet, you had to have brown feet.
Of course you did,
Yeah.
yes. So did you get much in the way of sunburn back then?
Yes, because I played a lot of sport as well, played a lot of
Sure.
hockey and netball, and yeah, baked myself on the beach. So practically every summer, and yeah, a lot.
Right. So I guess you understand that that puts you in a really high risk group now for skin
Yes,
cancers and melanomas. And one of the predisposing factors is the amount of blistering sunburns that you would have had growing up. And that can play a significant part of what happens to us when we get older. Unfortunately, sun damage is accumulated, so it's not always what we do at the time that will pay us back at the time. Often we'll get these results 10, 20, 30 years down the track.
Okay.
Do you have any family history of skin cancer, particularly melanoma? type of skin
Yes,
cancer?
my dad used to get quite a few skin cancers burnt off his face. He was a farmer, but before then he also was at the Swanbourne Surf Lifesaving Club, and he was on the boat, on the surf boat. So, yeah.
He's had a lot of cooking.
A lot of cooking.
Unfortunately, he's been exposed to probably too much UVR
Yeah.
in his time as well on the land, and farmers obviously are outdoors a lot and getting a lot of damage. Okay, tanning probably is just the skin telling you that it's under stress. So whenever we've got a little bit of colour, unfortunately, it's our skin warning us that we've been exposed to a bit of UVR, and it's throwing up an umbrella to try and protect us. So it'll be really interesting to look at your skin today and just to see if there's anything of concern there.
Yeah, it'd be great. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be great.
It's a really good thing to do, and for peace of mind as well.
Well, I started off as a creative director of radio stations for 8 years, so I wrote all the ads and directed all the production. And then I became marketing manager of a range of different companies. The last one was Airlink, which was Qantas's largest regional airline. And from there, about 14 years ago, I started my own business consultancy. I was facilitating with businesses their business and marketing strategies, and a lot of the time the general manager or the CEO would say, Kath, you know, that's all well and good, all this lovely marketing stuff and relationship marketing stuff you're doing, but how does what you're doing here, how does that activity that's going to cost me a bit of money, how does that directly impact the bottom line? And I thought, how can I explain to these CEOs and general managers the importance of relationships, and that successful business relies on successful relationships? So it was at that time that I developed a model, which I've written a book about, Creating Brand Energy, and now I take businesses through this model, and I facilitate businesses and their teams. It's about being authentic. I could try to be I Am You to the Power of Two radio station, but that's not going to work, because what we give out, we get back. Creating brand energy basically just looks at businesses as not just physical entities but also energetic entities, and it's the collective energy of everyone who works with you that creates your reputation or brand in the marketplace. So the book looks at, well, if it is all about energy, then how do I define that for my business? And there's 5 brand energy elements you need to define for your business. So that's when I help businesses and I facilitate them through the 5 energy elements. And then once you've defined that, it then looks at, well, then how do you activate that? How do you live that? How do you manage that? And how do you express that? So you are the living, breathing exemplar of who you say you are. And so the first half of the book is looking at how you define your 5 brand energy elements. The second half of the book gives case studies of how other businesses have actually activated their brand energy elements in their business. So the case studies in the book are Faraway Bay, the bush camp, Morrison, the fashion label, Enyo, the cleaning products, Kayla's jewellery, and Boost juice bars, because I thought they had a great brand personality, so they're a case study of your brand personality. I do shed talks. I've got a big shed out the back. It's more like a barn, I'd say. And people that I meet who are interested in energy in business, interested in how they can activate the power of their human energy in their business, I say, well, come along and have a listen to a shed talk, which I basically, it's an hour talk where I go through my process that I take businesses through. And then if they feel aligned with that, then they might want to do the facilitation process with me. My husband was a founding rider for the Ride for Youth, which raises money for Youth Focus, which is a prevention of teenage suicide, self-harm and depression. About 12 years ago, he and a group of mates were riding around the suburbs, and they thought, oh, wouldn't it be great to do a ride that's a challenge where we could also raise some money for a charity. This year they've raised over $2 million. So on the 10th anniversary, I said to James, oh look, I'll join you. I've been supporting you from the sidelines all these years. I'll join you for the 10th anniversary. And I did not know what I was getting myself into. So we were training, we were riding about 300 Ks a week, and I came from yoga land to then go to bike land, and it was a rude shock, let me give you the tip. How did I go?
You went very well, I must say. It doesn't appear that you've got any lesions or any spots on your skin that you need to be concerned about.
Fantastic.
Today.
Great.
The good news is that's today. Things can happen as soon as 1 month. So do check your skin from head to toe.
Okay.
Once a month, as you step out of the shower and you're toweling off, just make sure that nothing new arises. So that is any type of change from your skin the way it is today. Now the really good news is your skin's in great condition. You're moisturising, it's beautiful to touch, you don't have any unusual breakdown of skin that could lead to further sun damage. You've got a tiny little bit around your chest, which is unfortunately that part of us girls where we do get a lot of UV damage when we're driving or hanging out washing or when we're out and about, but that's normal wear and tear. Apart from that, everything's great. So congratulations,
great,
you've got really
thank
good
you.
skin. But having this sort of thing done at least once a year, particularly being a child of the 50s, 60s or 70s and having had a lot of sun exposure, that's always a wise thing to do. And again, just check your own skin once a month, and I can leave you with some directions on how to do that.
Okay,
if you do notice
lovely.
anything, get off and see your doctor straight away. Everything's curable if we can get to it really early.
Okay.
But today, everything looks great.